up, you guys? It's Rowan and welcome back to this week's video. Man, it has been a while since I posted anything. I was unfortunately going through a pretty difficult situation, hence the long break from posting on both here and on Instagram, but the good news is that for the most part the drama is over and I am pretty much back, so let's get into it. Today I'll be purchasing one of the new released horses. I think they're called Haflingers. I wasn't really planning on it, but after seeing so many cute and fun posts about them on Instagram, I've been convinced and I'm so excited to have one of my own. So we are going to be starting by heading over to the riding arena. I think they're at the riding arena to buy our new horse. So here they are. There's not as many as I thought there would be, and I was definitely expecting more colors than just different shades of brown, but they're all still super cute. Between all of them, I think that these two in the front have to be my favorite. Specifically this one. It reminds me of my Fancy horse from Alice's account. Out of all of the coat options, I think the one that I had picked is my favorite. All of these other ones kind of just seem the same. I really only like two of the main choices. I like the normal mane, I think it's really pretty. This one, sorry but no, I think it's just not appealing, it looks like too much. I actually really like this shortcut mane. I think it would look perfect for a boy, but probably on a different coat. I think I might have to come back at some point and get a darker coated horse with this mane style and name him like Jimmy or something like that. But for this horse, I'm just going to stick with the lightest color coat and the original mane. She is going to be a youngster and she is going to be a mare. I think mares are females. Well, let's hope they are. For her name, I'm thinking something soft, like imagine gardens or springtime or flowers. I really want a name that screams that. I would do Daisy, but I think I already have a horse with that name. I really liked the name Dawn, but a little voice was in the back of my head telling me that maybe I've already used that one too. And I ended up picking Fern. I think it's really cute, it's very spring-like and simple, and we're gonna go with it. Alright, this is Fern. We are going to get her all tacked up. Oh my, you took Birch's spot? That's his spot! Oh, we'll fix it later. We're just gonna get her tacked up in something random now for a quick race just to see how she does. Let's do something rainbow because it's Pride Month. I'm just gonna steal this, sorry. Okay, and we are set. Okay, we're heading that way. Oh, we're off to a great start. Yeah, definitely don't regret buying this horse. We are going to be going to the Forgotten Fields and do the race there. Okay, who?
Who let me buy this horse?
That was seriously the most annoying race I have ever done, all because I chose to buy a horse
that can't freaking cooperate.
Alright guys, we're here for the actual good part of this video, which is creating Harry Potter Hogwarts houses outfits. I've had a couple ideas brewing in my head for a while, so I'm super excited. I'll only be using tack, clothes, and pets from the global store, so let's get started. First, we're going to be doing Gryffindors. If you're a Gryffindor, sorry, but respectfully, leave. So for the outfit picking, we're going to start with the horse first and then the character next. For the look, I really wanted to go for something that had the house colors, which are just gold and red. For the saddle pad, I was looking for a bit, but then when I saw this one right here, I instantly clicked it. No hesitation, it was absolutely perfect. It just fit it so well. For the saddle, I liked this one because it has the red and gold, but I just wasn't feeling the brown, so I looked at the yellow saddles to see if they had any gold ones, but they didn't. But I did end up finding that the orange one did, so I went with that. For the bridle, I found this one pretty quick. I liked the gold design on the nose. For the saddlebag, I always knew I was going to use this one, so picking it was super easy. For the pet, I didn't really like the tint of this red plushie, so I went with the gold one instead because Gryffindors have very much of a main character energy and they think they're gold. So, for the leg wraps, I went with a simple red. The bridal accessory, I just chose this first one because it looked the nicest, and a simple gold bow for the tail. And that wraps up this horse. Next is the character. I started by looking for a red top, but I couldn't really find anything that stuck out to me, but then I remembered I had bought this jacket, and it fit so perfectly, very bougie, very expensive looking. I just picked out a pair of black pants. For the boots, I immediately saw these red and gold ones, but I didn't really like the way that they looked, and then I noticed these, and I found them to fit better. I chose some black, red, and a hint of gold gloves, and that about finishes it. I decided not to add a hat just because Gryffindors are too good for hats, and that finishes the look. It's not as bad as I thought it would turn out. What do you guys think? Next up is Ravenclaw. I'm really going for like a schoolgirl kind of look. For the blue saddle pad, I liked this one. I think that the black and blue is a really good way to start, but after I scrolled down a little bit more, I found this one, and I think it just goes better with Ravenclaw's shade of blue, and it just looks more professional, which I think that's definitely Ravenclaw's style. For the saddle, I kind of had to play around with which one looked the best, and I ended up finding this one, and it just all came together really nicely. The bridle was an easy pick, just something of the right color blue. For the saddlebag, I really couldn't find the right one in the blue color, so I went with an elegant black one instead. And for the pet, obviously, I had to go with a bird, because it's, you know, a raven. For the mane and the tail, I went with the blue bird bows, and for the leg wraps, I couldn't find any right kind of shade of blue, so I went with a dark bluish black instead. Up next is the character. Like I said, I wanted her to look very schoolgirlish. For her top, I found these private school type tops, and I liked the last one the best. It matched the saddle pad. For the legs, I found a skirt which I actually really liked, but then I found a darker colored one that looked better, so I went with that instead. For the shoes, I had already saw these, so I knew that they would work perfectly. For the gloves, I found these cute ones with gold hearts, but then I noticed these, and they looked way more professional. For the hat, I found this really cute beanie, but I felt like Ravenclaws would kind of follow the dress code and wear something a little bit more proficient, so I went with a riding cap instead. And that finishes the look for Ravenclaw. It is definitely my favorite so far. Next is Slytherin, which is my Hogwarts house, so I'm expecting this one to be absolutely amazing. For the saddle pad, I really wanted to go with a dark green, like a really dark green, but I couldn't really find anything that looked good, so I ended up settling for this one, which I really didn't like it, but it was kind of my last option, so I went with it. For the saddle, I instantly saw this one, and I was like, yes, perfect. I feel like Slytherins are a bit bougie and kind of entitled, so this saddle fit perfectly. For the bridle, I wanted something that was dark enough green, but also didn't really have any other color in it, so I picked this simple one. For the saddlebag, I liked this one because it obviously has a skull on it and Slytherins are more on the darker side, but the black just wasn't dark enough, so I found this. For the pet, I couldn't find anything with the right shade of green, so I settled for the most evil looking pet I could find, which was this cat. For the leg wraps, I went with a simple green, and the mane and tail, I tried the green bows, but it just looked too upbeat, so I chose the black bows instead, and that completes the horse. On to the character. The tops didn't really have that many green schoolgirl looking outfits to pick from, so I just picked this one, and it looks the most schoolgirlish along with it being the right shade of green. For the legs, I was going to do a black skirt at first, but halfway I felt like Slytherins are a little bit more rebellious, so I chose a pair of simple black pants instead. For the feet, I was going to go with a pair of dark green boots, but once again, seemed too responsible, so I chose a pair of black leather boots. For the gloves, I had already known I was going to use these because it somewhat looks like a snake. At first, I wasn't going to add a hat, because it's more rebellious and not following the normal standards, but the green beanie fit really well, so I had to add it. And that completes the Slytherin look. I will admit I'm not really proud of it or loving it, but it's not bad either. Lastly is Hufflepuff. Since there isn't much of anything yellow, I knew this was going to be a bit of a challenge. For the saddle pad, I kind of had to just juggle between what little I had, so I ended up picking the most simple one that matched the right shade of yellow. For the saddle, once again, not many options, but this one felt like it was absolutely perfect because it had all of the colors of Hufflepuff, yellow, black, and a little bit of white. For the bridle, I liked this one at first, but it definitely looked more gold, like something a Gryffindor would have, so I picked a lighter yellow. For the saddlebag, the color yellow had nothing to offer, so I looked through all of my other options, and I found this one, which I really liked because it has yellow and black in it, and it went well with the style of the saddle. For the mane, I went with yellow flowers because Hufflepuffs seem super gentle and sweet, yellow leg wraps, and a yellow bow for the tail. For the pet, I kind of wanted something that would resemble a badger, and I found this. I don't even know what this is. A squirrel, maybe? But it wouldn't work in the saddlebag for some reason, so I had to settle for a fox, specifically brown, and I think it worked pretty well. For the character outfit, like Ravenclaw's, I wanted this to be very school appropriate and just all around very respectable. I ended up finding this out of everything, which again, the color yellow isn't the most popular. It really is all that I could find. For the legs, I started out with a skirt, but a skirt with a sweater just didn't really go well together, so I picked regular black pants instead. For the shoes, I liked these, but they just weren't the right shade of yellow, so I picked these elegant pair of black boots. For the gloves, they didn't really have anything with the right shade of yellow once again, so I picked a simple pair of black gloves instead. For the hat, once again, yellow had nothing. Then I found this hat, which I really liked because it has an H on it for Hufflepuff, but it just wasn't a very appealing color, so I went with a normal black riding cap. And I had already known that I was going to pick a pair of gold spectacles, and it just screams book smart. So that finishes the Hufflepuff look. It's definitely not bad, especially since we didn't really have much to work with. What do you guys think? And that's gonna wrap this video up. I'm really happy with my new horse, and creating outfits was super fun. I gotta say my favorite was Ravenclaw, and sadly my least favorite was my own Hogwarts house, Slytherin. Let me know in the comments what outfit theme you'd like to see me create next. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.